First round with white and start with a sliding loop and chain 3 and 15 double crochets into the ring. Once you have 16 posts in total, you can close the ring and join with a slip stitch to the top of chain 3. Next round is red, so pick up red. Round 2 is chain 2. This is a filler stitch. We're not going to join to this, we're going to be joining to our first stitch, which is front post double crochet around the chain 3 just below, and back post double crochet around the next post, and repeat front post, back post, front post, back post. So at the end of round 2, we will join with a slip stitch, not to the chain 2 but to the top of our first stitch, which is front post double crochet, and we're changing color again. Pick up white. I didn't even cut the yarn, I'll just pick it up from the back. So round 3 is chain 3 and make 2 more double crochets in the same stitch. I just go right in the actual same place where the chain 3 came out, and I'm going also back into that first stitch I joined with, because this is all one and the same stitch. So I am adding 2 more double crochets in the same point. And when this loop stretches a little, you can always go back and pull the red yarn from behind. And now we're making 3 double crochets in every stitch, but a back loop only, all the way around. So round 3 looks somewhat crinkly, and at the end of it you join with a slip stitch to the top of chain 3. And again pick up red yarn, and we're going to repeat round 2. So we're making chain 2 and front post double crochet around the chain 3 just below, and then back post double crochet, front post, back post, etc. So at the end of round 4, again we're joining with a slip stitch to the top of the first stitch, which is front post double crochet, and we're picking up the white. So round 5 is chain 3, and what we're making straight away is a corner. So we're making 2 double crochets in the same stitch, a chain 1 and 3 double crochets back in the same stitch. And once again my loop stretched out just a bit too much, so I'm going back and pulling the red yarn from behind a little bit. So we're trying to turn the circle into a square. So, and this is a granny stitch, so we're skipping 2 stitches and making 3 double crochets in the back loop of the next stitch. Now there is a slight modification here. We're skipping 2 stitches, but we're making a single crochet back loop only in the next stitch. Then we're skipping 2 stitches and we're making 3 double crochets again in the next stitch, and we're skipping 2 stitches and we're making a corner here. So 3 double crochets, chain 1 and 3 double crochets into the back loop, and we repeat the stitch sequence from this point after we made the first corner, which means skip 2, make granny stitch, skip 2, make single crochet, skip 2, make granny, then the corner. So every 2 corners is separated with granny cluster, and a single crochet in the middle. So at the end of round 5 you should have made your final granny cluster. Then you have 2 stitches left in between the first corner, and we're just joining with a slip stitch to the top of chain 3, and there's no color change at this point, so just finish off with the white. And round 6 is chain 3 and 2 double crochets in the same stitch, and we're repeating the corner sequence in the corner. So 3 double crochets, chain 1 and 3 double crochets in the corner, and then a granny stitch in the next space, and 3 double crochets in the single crochet. We're not doing anything with these spaces, just 3 double crochets to the single crochet. So we're skipping this space and we're making 3 double crochets in this space, and repeat the corner sequence of 3 double crochets, chain 1 and 3 double crochets, and the same kind of stitches until you finish the round. So at the end of round 6, join with a slip stitch to the top of chain 3 and pick up red. So round 7 is chain 1 and single crochet in the same stitch, and then I pull the loop back again. So, and now single crochet in the back loop of every stitch, and in the corner chain 1, make 3 single crochets back loop only. Of round 7, join with a slip stitch to the first single crochet and back loop only, and pick up white. So round 8 is chain 3, and we're making 1 post for every stitch, but we're making 9 in the corners. So make double crochet back loop only in the next stitch and every stitch, but when you come to the corner stitch, the middle one out of the 3 from last round, make 9 double crochets back loop only in that stitch. At the end of round 8, join with a slip stitch to the top of chain 3 and pick up red. And round 9 is simply a repeat of round 2. So chain 2 and front post double crochet around the chain 3 below, and back post double crochet around the next post, and keep going around, and join with a slip stitch to the top of the first front post double crochet and pick up white. Is chain 3 and make a double crochet back loop only in every stitch. So to find your corner, let's have a look at 2 rows before when we had 9 posts in the same stitch. So just count and find number 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this will be your corner stitch, because that's the middle stitch from this round. And into this stitch, simply make 3 double crochets back loop only, chain 1, and 3 double crochets back loop only. So at the end of round 10, join with a slip stitch to the top of chain 3 and pick up red, And this round is where we make the hearts in the corners. So we start with a chain 1 and a single crochet back in the same stitch, and then I go back and pull that loop back so it's smaller, and single crochet back loop only into every stitch. And this is where you need to stop. So you have one stitch left before the corner chain 1, and this is where you stop. Now we're going to begin the heart. So yarn over twice and look at this post that's located right after the chain 1, so your first post after the chain 1, and we're making a front post treble around this post, and we're making 2 more, but the next post we're making will be located to the left of the one we just made, and in the end we will push them all to the base of this post, of the white post. So make another front post treble around the same post to the left of the post you just made, and another one the same way to the left again. So now you have your 3 posts and you are pushing them down towards the base of the white post. Now we're going to go back into that stitch that's just before the chain 1 stitch, and we're going to make a single crochet in that stitch, then a bobble, which is double crochet 5 together. So make 5 partial double crochets on your hook. So that's 1,
2, 3, 4,
5, and yarn over and pull through all loops on the hook, and another single crochet in the same stitch, still before the chain 1. And now we're skipping the chain 1 stitch, and we're making again single crochet in the next stitch, bobble, double crochet 5 together, and a single crochet in the same stitch as the bobble. And so we're turning the corner here. So the last thing to complete the heart is we are yarning over once and making a front post double crochet around this post, which was the last post, the last front post treble post we made, so the top one, but coming from the opposite direction while this post is upside down. So just make a front post double crochet around it, and now we will resume making single crochet back loop only, a few more stitches, and then we're going to come back and fix the heart stitches back into place. So I've moved away from the heart a little bit, and now all we need to do is simply shift or press down on, especially on these 3 trebles, because they were kind of poofed out a little bit while we were arranging the whole heart. And there you have it, it's done. And then repeat the same steps. So every heart will look slightly different. They all have a little character of their own, but I quite like them because they're bobble hearts. So you can always customize your squares. If you don't like the heart, you can make your squares smaller and make your blanket like that with smaller squares. It's up to you. I made the squares quite large, so you have plenty of choice of where to stop and how big you want your squares to be. At the end of round 11, join with a slip stitch to the first single crochet back loop only, and this is the last time you used red. Just pick up white and you're done with the red. Round 12 is chain 3 and double crochet back loop only into every stitch. So crochet until right up to the heart. So I have 2 more stitches left, so I'm making double crochet back loop only. So this is where I would stop, and next we're looking at the stitch that we skipped in the last round, the white stitch. So it was chain 1. So we are going to yarn over and try and hook into that stitch. If it's just 1 loop, that's okay. So we're making 3 double crochets, chain 1 and 3 double crochets into that skipped stitch behind the heart. And now, as we're turning the corner, we are simply finding the first single crochet back loop only, which is here, and we're resuming our double crochet back loop only from that single crochet back loop only stitch, and again in every stitch until the next corner, until you reach the heart, and again repeat the same. So at the end of round 12, join with a slip stitch to the top of chain 3, and round 13 is chain 3 and again double crochet back loop only into the next stitch in every stitch, and in the corner, which is where the chain 1 is, just make 2 double crochets, chain 1 and 2 double crochets in the corner space, and again resume double crochet back loop only into the next stitch and every stitch. If this is your first square, so keep going around and join with a slip stitch to the top of chain 3 and fasten off. And I'm gonna be joining into with 2 other squares, so I need to crochet up to the corner and make 2 double crochets in the corner and remove the hook from the loop, and then insert your hook through the corner space where the chain 1 was, front to back, and pick up the loop, pull it up and chain 1, and make another post in the corner, remove the hook from the loop, insert the hook through the next space between the next 2 posts, pick up the loop, pull it up and chain 1, and just make sure that you complete the corner. So another post, and move along with your hook, and this is basically how I connected the squares. And once I completed the corner, now I can crochet into the back loops of the posts, and I keep removing the hook and joining. So I've joined with this square up to the point where I made 2 posts in the corner, and after the second post I typically join with a diagonal square, so that I think it gives me nicer corners. So I simply insert the hook through the corner space of the diagonal square. For example, it could be, I could pick up, find where the chain 1 was, like this, or I could possibly just go through all of the squares here, but I typically I try to find where that particular square is and pick up that corner and pick up the loop and pull it up and chain 1. So now I'm ready to join with a square, and I need to turn the corner. So I made my 2 posts in the corner and joined with a diagonal square, and now, so the corner is accounted for, and now I'm going in through the next space after the corner space, front to back, and picking up the loop, chaining 1, and I am resuming. I find my first post here after the corner, and I'm resuming joining with this square. So the last time to join with a square is when you've made your second post in the corner and removed your hook from the loop, and when you insert the hook through the corner space of the other square and chained 1. And now you just need to make another two more posts here and complete the side and join with a slip stitch to the top of chain 3. There is no right or wrong when it comes to joining the squares. You might choose your other favorite method, but if you do choose join as you go and you want to make it look neater, I noticed that if I go back into where I joined as I go and then pull these stitches like so that the chain ones in between that we made are stretched in that direction rather than sideways, which makes it rise up a little. If I go back and pull on these stitches like so, that it lies more flat and it looks more neat. So once you joined your last square and completed your last round, you can go straight into making the border without cutting the yarn. So I thought I would repeat the round 2 we had here, which is front post back post. So I begin with chain 2 and I make a front post double crochet around the chain 3 just below, and a back post double crochet around the next post, and I intend to keep going around the whole blanket. So crochet up to the corner, and when you've made your either front or back post around the post just before the chain 1, then chain 1 for the corner and resume your front post back post through the other posts. So when it comes to where the 2 squares are joined together, when it comes to crocheting the border there, I crocheted around the posts that are available to me, so the last 2 posts in the corner, and then I crocheted around this point where they were joined, so in the middle, and I made, if this was the front post, then this is the back post, and now I'm going to resume making the front post around the next post available, which is again the 2 in the corner. So just to let you know that I was crocheting into this middle bit where the 2 squares were joined together, the corner spaces were joined together.